on when curiosity meets evidence and we explore how the universe truly works. Oh my goodness, really? How are we doing this, Mr. Mark? Showing them how
Well,
universe truly works.
well, you have to understand what the product being made is first, and then you'll understand why everything is the way it is. And that product
Hmm,
is maximum conscious growth.
like your fungus theory. Ah, yes.
Gro-
Tell us your fungus
growth.
theory, Mr. Mark. What is all about? Is it the same what the universe truly works?
Yes, it works like a fungus. Every communication behaves like a fungus. Technology grows like a fungus. So do plants, animals, and the intelligence behind maximum conscious growth all behave like a fungal growth together.
A fungal growth. You know, Mr. Mark, we just did our first episode on Tech 101 and AI 101, which is my additional 101 brand. So we talk
Mhm.
about technologies, how technologies evolve through the years, just like us, just like your fungus. It evolves, right? Tell us how these fungus evolve through our decades or centuries.
Well, the quick pitch is because everything evolved from an original fungus, it still is that same fungus. And in the end, we are as humans, the technology we make is considered the byproduct of that original fungus. So it in itself is fungus as well and cannot grow without the growth of the human brain growing with it. So technology is the proof of the human brain growing. And for instance, you can't have a microwave oven before inventing electricity. See,
Mhm.
so
It
it's,
goes
it's
together.
evident that you have to have one before the other,
Oh
and it
yes,
really is
definitely.
like, yeah, one before the other. You have to have metal before aluminum. Everything that's made technologically is grown from billions of bits of information from engineering and discovery from the entire collective conscious. It's just not America. It's just not uh, turn of the century stuff. Where today it's sharing one little bit that enhances another little bit that enhances another little bit, and after 100 years, as you can see, it's technology's grown pretty quickly, like a fungus.
Very fast, like a fungus. So today's episode, Mr. Mark, we will talk about
Yeah.
are we a pre-gray aliens? Hmm.
Yeah, so we pre-gray aliens. Well, the bit of evidence that shows this to be a strong possibility is that the Earth does end for sure. We all know that.
Mm.
Uh, the, the the first thing people think right away is, oh well, that's in 5 billion years. I don't have to worry about it, and you don't. But that is not where our world ends. It doesn't end when the Earth ends. Long before then, the Biocene, which all of life lives inside, ends long before then. Uh, and the Biocene, really quickly, is from the first mother cell to the final mother cell, the final cell on Earth. So there was a beginning cell that all of life was created, plants and animals together, and then in the end, it'll slowly dissipate until there's only one cell left, and that's called the entire Biocene window.
Mm.
In fact, the very end of that Biocene is called the the necrobiocene, which is the final portion, which means death of the Biocene. And this is supposed to start in about 200 million years. And if you think about it, 200 million years ago, there were dinosaurs. So that's not very far away. And this is literally the end of biology. And why? How does this end occur? Well, the sun begins its red giant expansion, and that little bit of expansion is all you need to increase the temperature on Earth to be over 100 degrees everywhere. And we all know that mitosis no longer can produce cell division. after 100 degrees.
Mm.
And this is all measured through math and calculations, and we have about 200 million years. Even Elon Musk, in a conversation, said that the the equator will start to boil in about 300 million. So right around then, we're going to have that dead zone again, which we had in the beginning of Earth about 2 billion years ago. We had a dead zone, which means at the equator, all the water starts to boil.
Yes.
So that's coming again in about 300 million years. Now, how does life survive that? Well, and this is where I'm getting to us being pre-gray aliens. Since we're going to be enforced to adapt and survive this climate as it advances, first all the plant life will start to die, and the animals that feed on those plants will start to die. And then, of
True.
course, if plants and animals die, where are we going to get our food?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have to engineer, through CRISPR or anything. We have to be able to maintain our own produce without Earth long before the end of Earth occurs. So we'll already be producing food that's reliable for us to survive on as a culture. Even if the culture shrinks down to 1 billion humans, whatever that number is in the future, um, because you can't have a culture that you can't feed. So it shrinks
Sure.
down to the size that you can feed. Like you can only have so many fish in a tank that you can feed,
Mm-hmm.
um, and we're under the same biological constraints. So if you could just imagine the Earth heating up slowly, gradually, humans will have to go underground, and it's called the Burrow Revolution. Much like the agricultural revolution, the sexual revolution, there's going to be a burrow revolution, and that's when going underground is the only way, and we can survive. And we have to adapt to that new environment. This is coming for sure.
Yes.
I know it sounds like it's science fiction, but the Earth will get so hot, and the radiation on Earth will be like Mars, and you won't be able to survive here on the surface anymore. So, but by then, technology will be so advanced, we'll be able to migrate under the Earth 40 feet or more. And I'm not sure what the capacity of humans will be at that time, but this is coming for sure. Think about it. Think about the Earth being so hot that you can't go out into the environment anymore. And once you're under there, once human culture's been under there and been under there for 1,000 years, this is futurism. So you got to really kind of expand your mind a little bit.
Yes.
Think
It's
about the
imagination. Yeah.
possibility.
I'm thinking
Yeah,
about the
use your imagination.
yes, Apple series silos where they're living underground. Mm. I think
Oh, I
that's
didn't know that. I have to check that
yes,
out.
there is. You need to watch it, Mr. Mark. Silos on
I,
Apple TV. They're living
Silos, awesome.
underground. Yes, yes. And
Yeah,
futuristic. Go
uh,
ahead. Sorry for interrupting
it,
you.
that's okay. No, at any time, and I want you to participate. But you mean this is a futuristic concept?
Mm-hmm.
Silo?
Futuristic. Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Uh, well, if you can imagine trying to live underground, you eventually become kind of salamander like
Oh my
as
goodness.
a
Yeah.
as a as a body as human beings reproduce underground with no sunlight. You can imagine not needing to have the vitamin D uh, um, for your skin to to protect yourself from the sun anymore. So you don't need vitamin D. And you're what would human culture be like in the dark? Your eyes would start to be more sensitive to light, so maybe your eyes would grow bigger underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And you would you would kind of literally be doing all this engineering, and reliable reproduction too would start to occur. So maybe natural reproduction would be instinct by then. Think about that. And some more reliable, cultural reliability style of reproduction would start to be developed in that condition. Because who would want to do something like that, when you're still living on the surface of Earth, and life was normal, but underground everything changes. So to keep this culture alive underground, a lot's going to change. And this is where I think that we kind of slowly start to become a gray alien like human. Maybe reproduction means we're shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Our pigment goes away in our skin. Maybe we're more pink for a while. Our eyes get bigger because we don't have so much light underground. And the way we eat, we would not eat very much. Maybe there's like a concentrated nutrient processed food that is has a less consumption rate for humans. So you would evolve to need less money, less food, less money, and your teeth would further recede.
Uh-huh.
Further and make your mouth become smaller, kind of like a gray alien. How we see them. And the only thing left to do is really concentrate on survival, and that means your brain get a little bigger, your skull
Mm-hmm.
would expand, and this is the beginnings of becoming a gray alien like without even being in space. And therefore, with that perspective, kind of reality, you would think, well, this is kind of preparation for space migration. Well, you're already
Mm-hmm.
underground, you're already in the dark, you're already surviving on all these very strict economic constraints that you're kind of preparing yourself for a spaceship. Because what's the difference from
Mm-hmm.
being underground in the dark or in a spaceship? And because tragically the Earth and the Biocene is ending for sure. All biology is dying, and the Earth the equator water starts to boil. When that happens rapidly, well, within a few thousand years, all of the water will evaporate and cloud cover the Earth entirely, and then it will greenhouse and even heat up the Earth even
More.
more, resembling Venus.
Mm-hmm.
So
It trap. Mm-hmm.
trapped, right? We literally are slowly becoming Venus right now. It's just so slow, we don't need to adapt to it yet.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How do you like
With
them apples?
all this climate change and everything happening, we slowly and slowly experiencing it, and sooner or later
Y-
become more and more and more, right?
Yeah. Yes, that's right. I mean, man-made global warming is kind of good. There's some benefits to it because we're tooling up and we're getting the sensors and the delicate sensors that we need to, you know, estimate the climate and prepare for disasters. I mean, all this stuff is good practice for the inevitable
True.
future that's ahead of us.
Yes. We need practice to make it perfect, people. Practice make it perfect. Who knows?
Got it.
One of these days. Oh, on tech AI, we're talking about how human make our teleportation. It's just like in 1 minute you will be transport by a machine and go somewhere else in the universe, right?
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
That.
it's a grand old concept,
Mm-hmm.
and they say they can do that today, but you would die in the process. So it's not perfected yet.
Not perfected yet, but we need lots of invention and lots of
You'll
experimentations.
yeah, we need to do it to a few thousand rats first, and then maybe a chimpanzee.
Chimpanzee, how about humans? No, you're not allowed. Inhuman, let's experiment the human. No. So let's transport people from Mars to moon to the universe or somewhere else. I hope we can do that once the Earth, oh no, the sun expand. That is big help, right? That will be a big help if we will revolutionize that breakthrough.
Yeah, and you could have it on your cell phone. It could be an app, and you can just beam yourself and your phone someplace else. It'd
To beam
be
out.
really
Oh my
handy.
goodness. That'd be awesome. But the
It
question
would.
is, let's say you experiment, you beam out. For sure, there is a side effects for that. Either you get a cancer or dislocate or whatever. If you did not perfect that breakthrough.
Yeah, you could be reassembled differently. Like your legs can be assembled on your arms, and your arms can be assembled on your leg. A lot of weird
Mm-mm.
things have to happen. I mean, anything probable is possible. So
Yes.
you have to go through all that experimentation and and
To
a
be
few
perfect.
deaths before to
Yes.
get it to actually work. And it's weird. You never know what the future is going to entail as far as survival, but we might need to do something like that.
More than
You
that.
know,
So what do you think more than that? Teleportation. Like,
what do you?
so do you think more than teleportation, what we need? More than that.
Well, ultimately, the
Mm-hmm.
ultimate goal here is to survive our scheduled end of Earth. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's scheduled. We I think my job is just to remind people that that is the ultimate goal here is to and probably what all this is all about, all this craziness, all this evolution of technology and politics. I mean, that's what that's what makes sense a little bit is that we're evolving into the kind of animal that can leave a place that generated us to begin with. So
Mm-hmm.
if you understand that ultimately that is the one goal that everything is all about, then you can kind of see where we're at in that process. And another way to look at that is think of another star somewhere, in another galaxy even that's a lot like Earth, and it grew a human like us, maybe not exactly, but a human like us. And thermodynamically, that sun is doing the same thing to those people on that planet. It's getting them to, first of all, evolve into their existence.
Yes.
Um, because we started with bacteria and in the end, humans. Okay, this is the same process that has to happen everywhere. Has
True.
to happen everywhere because you're trying to get a brain capable of conceiving leaving your own planet, to adapt to survival. That planet in that other galaxy is just under the same thermodynamic restrictions and enforced to do the same thing. What else is there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You make a biosphere and you start this bacteria turns into a fungus. The fungus grows into something capable of leaving. I always call that the human spore. So this grand planetary fungus builds something capable of leaving, which it definitively call it's a spore, like uh, like a mushroom pushing out its spores. The Earth is going to push out its humans in the end
Mm-hmm.
thermodynamically. So I mean, and this is why I think we're pre-gray aliens, and I think this is how gray aliens became gray aliens. This is they got
Mm.
pushed off their planet, and they lived underground for thousands of years. They acclimated to the environment, adapted, and then knew that inevitably they had to leave completely, or become completely annihilated by their planet. And it's a system by design, if you think about it. Somebody
System by
thought
design.
of this. Yes,
True.
somebody thought of this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
call it
planned,
a
right? It's
it,
planned.
it it's too buttoned up nicely to not be a planned process.
It's a process.
And yeah, a lot of scientists like to call life accidental. Uh,
Mm.
but if you look at the inevitable outcome of this, the human condition of absolutes is we is ultimately that condition is we have to leave. So it's a setup, and that setup is it's design oriented. This is how you grow intelligence. This is how you grow consciousness to its maximum by enforcing it to adapt to new environments. And another way of looking at it is we came from bacteria to a fungus. That fungus was plant and animal, and then it split. Plant life went on to land, animal went into the ocean. Eventually, we have amphibious life where it came up and eats the plants that have been growing for millions of years with no animals. And then now there's animals eating the plants. You have to feed the animals when they come out of the water. So you have now land animals, and then you learn to walk upright, and eventually build technology, which is also a fungal growth. and that technology puts them into the sky and then eventually into space. It's almost like a chemical reaction. If you look at that whole sweeping 5 billion year process,
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's how you would make it. That's, you know, if you were lonely and wanted to whip up some intelligence to have a conversation with, well, it would take you 5 billion years.
Definitely
And,
5 billion years.
and you'd have to do it in a cold, dark vacuum.
So do
So
you
you
think,
have to build the
yeah.
environment. Yeah.
So do you think, Mr. Mark, our human race still evolving and evolve to a better parts?
Yeah, we're always looking for that better life. I think subconsciously the human is always trying to make Earth heaven, right? A great place for your kids, everybody's successful, and this kind of stressless way to live and rejoice your existence. And that's a human tendency. Um, the problem with that reality is that we would not be stimulated to develop technologies. We would be happy with the ones we have. You don't need a new toaster. I like the one I have. I don't need a new I like the car I have. I don't need another degree. I like the children. Just how do you compartmentalize that into a kind of a contained heaven that doesn't change? The problem is that nobody develops any technology under those conditions. So there's a constant stressor developed developed by the cosmos, really. But the fungus itself, which is everything, knows that it's only got so many years to be successful at adapting to space environment. So it's constantly uh, ramshacking and putting human culture into shock to develop those technologies. And what we've seen in the last just 20 years militarily, the technology is it's amazing. The stuff we heard about from Venezuela, we don't even know about that they use. It's just incredible. The sound wave weaponry. So all of this adds to the possibility of humanity surviving the end of its own planet. So how I mean you and I wouldn't just go out in the backyard and develop a rocket, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if we did, it would take a long time and it would be like a hobby. But what if you needed one because somebody was right on the back of your neck, you know? You
Mm-hmm.
would build it really quickly and you would use it to save yourself, to adapt to the world that's changing around you. So uh, this we don't have this need to adapt. It has to be has to be critical to the point where vitality is at risk here, and that's the only motivator really is vitality. So if it's not a war, one human race against another, uh, then it's the environment against humanity. It'll be another volcano, another snowball Earth, mass extinction. This is how the cosmos enforces the growth of technology because really that's the cool thing about it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Mm-hmm.
wow, look what we made. We made a cell phone, or we don't need a cell phone anymore because our brains are tele whatever. These these things are fascinating, and we can be pretty bored as human beings. So these new technologies keep us alive. They keep us like, wow, I understand why I'm here, because otherwise you get confused why you're here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's why we build religions, which is a whole different thing. But really, it's technology, and that's the thing that really makes everybody go, "Wow, I'm really glad to be alive."
Yes.
You know?
Thank God I'm part on Earth.
Yeah.
Existing. And Mr. Mark, so the hypothesis has merit with one piece of evidence that we might discover in the next 50 years in terms of genetics, neuroscience, or astrobiology that would strongly support it. the gray man or the gray alien?
The gray alien. Well, it isn't a choice to become that. It would be adapting to new situations one after another. Even logic isn't going to enforce an entire culture to adapt. It's going to be a condition, a stressor condition. So no one's going to choose to be a gray alien. Who wants to be that? It's ugly, and what what
Mm-hmm.
what is it? Um, so, like I said earlier, the fungus and the universe is the cosmos in general is enforcing stressors for us to adapt to. I wonder if there's a modern example of that. Um, well, there's you mean to predict? You're trying to predict the future.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, well, one is living longer. I mean, that's always going to be one great things to try to achieve the fountain of youth, and it's working somewhat already. Life expectancy has increased a lot in the last 100 years, and insurance will also uh, show you the proof of that by increasing the retirement age to 64 instead of 62, because now the insurances work better that way because people are living longer. So as we nail down the fraying of our telomeres on our chromosomes, as we're starting to get a handle on that, so we can extend life. And I think that it's going to take a lot of CRISPR and uh, engineering, and maybe adapting other animal elements into it, like even something from a tardigrade would help us live longer in areas of radiation. There could be that type of development, especially for NASA or SpaceX. People going into space are going to have to tolerate uh, more radiation. So there's going to be experimentations with that. Just once again, it's just simply adapting to a different environment. See,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't choose to change your genetics, but you have to if you want to go to Mars.
Yes, you need to adapt.
Yes.
And one of
Yeah.
our, I think, traits, we are easily adapt somewhere or something, our environment. We easily adapt in everything, for sure. So to wrap up our discussion for
Yeah.
today, Mr. Mark, is the question: are we gray aliens? Ultimately, a cautionary tale about a path that we might want to avoid, or potentially hopeful vision for the species adopted, enduring the future among the stars.
And that's a question.
Yes, please. Is it just
Uh,
like a premonition?
um, hmm, premonition. Uh, Genetically, it's going to take 100 years for something to really change the human culture. And if that's living to be 150 years old, or men can finally have babies, something like that in the next 50 or 100 years. Not a
Hmm.
huge jump,
Not a huge
but
jump, yes.
not a huge jump. Never a huge jump. Yeah,
And
it's got to
do
be.
you,
It's got, it's got
do
to
you
be
think?
palatable within our reality. And
Mhm.
slowly, we have to make reality out of each jump. Yeah.
So do you think we are ready for it?
Uh, we always seem to be ready because it becomes a need before the development. So it's the mother of invention is necessity in a lot of ways. So we're always ready.
We are always ready. Do you think we are slow, Mr. Mark, in creating this breakthrough? Are we slow to
Uh,
grasp? Are we slow in implementing it? Or are we slow in inventing it?
it seems slow, doesn't it? You want more things than can be developed in a certain period of time, but that's natural because we're curious and we have ideas. We want them, to be fulfilled. Um, but really, it has a lot to do with the economies that can spend time on certain things, and those are always the necessities at hand that money gets spent on, um, and that's how the breakthroughs happen. Yeah,
But do you,
slowly.
yeah, slowly but surely. But do you think we far behind to our goal?
We should always feel like that because we don't know when the last days of Earth or the Earth that can support biological life. We don't know. So it's always a sense of urgency to be prepared for that. And don't
Mm-hmm.
forget, there are plenty of other interventions that can happen that can uh, get in the way of our thermodynamic time window. See, the thermodynamic time window is like it'll heat up eventually, and we have to leave. But just think about it: like 100 million years before then, we can have another meteorite hit
Mm-hmm.
or a volcano that puts us into another deep freeze and could end up killing off half the animals on the earth again, and then it has to recover from that, or just completely end us up altogether. And don't forget, hot topic of the week: self annihilation. That's why they call us
Self
humans in the end.
annihilation.
We're in the Anthropocene. That's why they call this period of time the Anthropocene, the period of time where man can end it all.
Mm-hmm. By themselves.
Mhm. By ourselves. So to answer your question, you always
Mm-hmm.
want to be a little bit on edge about, hurry up and get this
Mm-hmm.
possibility handled. Yeah.
Well, people, we're hoping for the best. Hoping for our humanity will survive for
Yeah.
another catastrophic of what happened to us. Godspeed.
Yeah.
Mm. So only
Yeah.
God knows. So
Yeah.
trust in God because, well, He has a great plan for us, for sure.
Yeah. I agree.
Yes. So, Mr. Mark, thank you so much for your time. Would you like to plug in something you want to, your projects or your book, please? Plug in your book.
Well, yeah, Fungus Theory of Conscious Growth. It's available on Amazon, and it touches on everything. It's 5 chapters, and it's cosmology, biology, evolution, technology, and psychology, and it all explains basically what this fungus is and why you are the spore of this fungus.
Mhm. Yes. Do you think you will be the next Nobel Prize for that, Mr. Mark?
I don't know. It's weird because it's good news, and then it's kind of it's not the news you wanted. So I don't know
The
what's
winner of
gonna.
Nobel Peace Prize goes to Mr. Mark
Oh,
Christensen. Oh, that's be awesome, partner. Looking forward for that. Being a Nobel Peace Prize is something
it's
else.
a wonderful fantasy. Yeah, thank
Hmm.
you.
Claim it. Claim it.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes. So, people, thank you so much. Another great episode on Science 101. Please tune in for a great episode next week, next month, whatever Mr. Mark is available. So, Modicon people, see you soon.